everyone, my name is Jessa and welcome to my first ever vlog. Since I've got friends who have been asking me how did I get here in Australia, so that's what I'm gonna talk about for this vlog. Before anything else, I just wanna make a disclaimer that I am not an immigration expert and everything I'm gonna tackle about are solely based on my own experience and experiences of the people I met here. So basically, I'm just giving tips and ideas for those aspiring Filipinos who are planning to study here in Australia. So let's get started. So the first thing you must do is you have to decide whether you're gonna get an agent to process your visa or you're gonna do it on your own. In my case, kumuha kami ng agency na naka-base dito sa Australia and not from Philippines. Good news guys, meron akong alam na isang agency sa Pilipinas na hindi nyo kailangang magbayad ng processing or service fee. Like you don't have to pay them anything at all. And the name of that agency is AECC Global and they have their branch in Cebu. Kung nalaman ko lang about that before ako pumunta dito, I should have done it, but it's too late now. But anyways, nalaman kong about that. It's because I have this classmate here in Australia na taga Cebu rin. Tapos yan yung agency na ginamit niya nung na-process siya ng kanyang visa. And yes guys, it's legit. Check out their website. I'm gonna post their website below. Okay, so check it out if you wanna save money kasi sayang din naman yung processing fee na ibabayad nyo, diba? So after you've decided if you're gonna get an agency or not, the next thing you do is you gather all your basic documents such as passport, birth certificates, the TOR and diploma of your previous qualifications. You need your resume, MBA clearance, passport size photo. You need no, not really needed. Like you can only if you have your certificate of employment, it's ideal if you can submit that one. But in my case, hindi ako nag-submit ng COE. Anyway, sabi naman ng agent ko, okay lang kasi ang COE is useful if pag uwi mo ng Pilipinas, meron ka ng job offer na nakahanda. So, if you don't have a COE, so don't worry, it's not the end of the world yet. And in my case, I have these additional documents na kailangan kong isubmit. Since yung tita ko yung magsusponsor sa akin in my whole stay here in Australia, like, sa kanya makuha ng financial things to sustain my stay here, is that kailangan kong mag-submit ng birth certificate ng mama ko at birth certificate ng tita ko. We need to prove that she is really my aunt, and kasi pag hindi namin na-prove yun, hindi siya allowed na mag-sponsor sa akin. So kapag hindi niya ako mag-sponsor, hindi ako makakapunta dito kasi wala akong pera. So yeah, I'm here now because of my aunt, thanks to her. So yeah, I owe her a lot, really a lot. So yeah, that's the additional requirements I've submitted in my circumstance. Then you've got your documents ready. Next thing is you need to decide what course and what school you're gonna enroll. In choosing a course, I think the key points you need to look at is that it's related to your previous studies in Philippines. Like in my instance, I'm a graduate of tourism management and now I'm taking up certificate in commercial cookery and diploma in hospitality management. Hospitality management and tourism, they're best friends, but really they're close. And another key points is like if you're studying here in Australia and you want to stay here permanently, you should choose a course that has a PR pathway, just like the course I'm taking now. The Cert for in Commercial Cookery and Diploma in Hospitality Management, it has a PR pathway, and that's the reason why that's one of the reasons why I took up that course. And yeah, you need to look for a course that's suitable for you, has a PR pathway if you want to stay here permanently. And yeah, there are also other courses that has a PR pathway, the one I knew is the nursing, but it's really expensive, and others are IT, engineering, yeah, stuff like that. But you can search on the website of the Australian government what are the eligible um, courses that has a PR pathway. You need to figure that out when if you want to stay here, okay? And in terms of school, um, you have choices. You can study in a college, in a uni or university, or in a TAFE. In my case, I'm studying in a TAFE. It's because if you're gonna study in a uni, it's really expensive, like really expensive. Like TAFE is really expensive. It's really if you convert it into peso, it's really expensive. So yeah, so I'm studying in TAFE right now, and then again, kung gusto niyo magstay dito sa Australia permanently, usually to get a residency, it's point system. So if you're gonna study in a regional area in Australia, you get a point. If you're gonna apply for a residency, you'll get a points from it, really. And like you mean like there's like a regional and the big cities are like Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, the capital cities in each state. And like if you're gonna study in a big city, then when you apply for the PR, you won't get any points from it. But if you're gonna finish your studies in a regional area, yes, you're gonna get a point. And now I'm studying in Cairns. It's a regional area, so when I apply for PR, yes, I can get the points from it. And also, maybe you're wondering why I'm getting a two course. I got the diploma. I got a diploma, and I'm having also the cert for in cookery, and that's because if you've done 2 years of studies here in Australia, you get 2 years of Australian qualification. Like it's yeah, basically like that. Then you get another points from it. So it's also important that you study here at least 2 years. Yep, to get to get points when you apply for your PR. So you got your course, you got your school, and then you need to ask your school if they require an English test. Because some schools doesn't require, but in my school they do require, and the minimum um, English test score is 5.5 for IELTS. But for the other types of tests, I don't know. And I'll talk more about it later about the English test thing. And yes. And then you apply to the school, and different school, different application process. In my school, they asked me to make a GTE or genuine temporary entrant, or SOP, or statement of purpose. Sorry. And I'm gonna talk more about GTE and SOP later. They're just the same. I'm gonna talk more about it later because you also need GTE. You also need to submit GTE and the immigration. Like it's one of the requirements. So I'm gonna talk more about it later. And then after that, after you've applied from the school, they will give you a letter offer, and you need to sign it and then give it back to the school, and then you make your payment. In terms of payment, there are like different, like there are ways you can pay it all at once, or you can pay it every 6 months. So in my case, I paid the first 6 months, and then after you've done your payment, the school will give you a COE, or a certificate of enrollment, in which that certificate of enrollment, you need to submit that to the immigration. It's one of the immigration's requirements, certificate of enrollment. You need to take you need to take English exam. There are like different English exams you can take. They're like IELTS, which yun yung tinake ko. IELTS, PTE, TOEFL, Cambridge English. Like you have choices kung anong English test ang kukunin nyo. In my case, since IELTS, the minimum score required by my school and also by the government is at least 5.5, but some courses are like they need higher score, just like nursing. I think it's 7 or 8, correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, it's higher if you're gonna get nursing or other courses. Like it really depends. And also, you can also have your review, like you can have self-review or you go in a review center. In my case, nag-review ako in a review center for 2 weeks, and after that, nag-take na ako ng exam kasi minadali namin kasi hinahabol namin yung January 2019 intake. So yeah, 2 weeks. And then how much does the IELTS cost? The IELTS cost me 10,700 something. Yeah, it's 10k something for the IELTS exam. I'm not sure if nag-change siya ngayon, but nung nag-take ako, it's 10k pesos. Yes, it's pesos. 10k pesos. Check nyo na lang if nag-change na ba ang price. Hindi ako sure. Hindi ako nakapag-research. I'm sorry. But yeah, that's for the English test. You need English test. So the next thing you need to organize is your overseas student health cover. It's just basically a health insurance, because here in Australia they have this health system called Medicare, in which only citizens and residents are eligible to apply it for. So if you're here and you don't have any health insurance, it's really expensive. That's why the government requires some visa holders like us to get our own health insurance. And also, if you have your dependents with you, like your partner or your kids who will come with you here in Australia, you also need to get them a health insurance as well. And sometimes, I mean, mostly schools, like sometimes they add it, I mean, they add a health insurance in your letter offer, in your package, but you also have the option to get your own health insurance. Just like me, I got my own health insurance. Like in my case, hindi ko kinuha yung health insurance partner ng school ko. It just depends on you guys. Like it depends on your preference. The next thing you do is have the show money ready. In my case, since yung tita ko nag-sponsor sa akin, kailangan niyang i-prove sa government na meron siyang enough money to sustain my cost of living here in Australia, and the money required by the government is that she must have at least 40k Australian dollar. And there's like an exemption with the show money, because I have this friend, like the same friend I've mentioned before. In her case, yung aunt niya nag-sponsor sa kanya dito sa Australia, and yung aunt niya mayroong business dito sa Australia, so the immigration didn't ask for any show money from them. I think they just asked for the business permit, or like some of like about the business. Yeah, and I think it's the same situation in Philippines. Like if you got a business, if you got a family business, like they don't require you a show money. But correct me if I'm wrong with that. Yeah, just correct. I'm not sure in Philippines, but in here, if you're a sponsor, if you got an aunt or a family, like you have a business here in Australia, then they won't ask you for any show money. So after you've prepared your show money, the next thing you do is to write up your GTE or SOP. They're just the same. In GTE, you need to write about yourself, introduce about yourself, your background, the connection of your previous studies, and like and your studies you're gonna take here, and what else. And also you need to answer the questions: why you want to study that school, why in that course, why in that city, and why Australia. You need to answer the 4 whys of those things. And also the most important thing you need to write on your GTE is that you emphasize that you have an intention to go back to your home country once you've completed your studies. Like, kailangan yung i-convince ang immigration na may balak talaga kayong umuwi. Hindi kayo mag-TTNT dito or something. Yes, because in some visas, like tourist visa, they require a face-to-face interview. But here in student visa, there's no face-to-face interview because like the interview is like the counterpart of the face-to-face interview is the GTE. So sa GTE nakasalalay if maa-approve yung visa nyo or not. Not really nakasalalay. Maybe like your GTE has a big factor whether your visa gonna be approved or be rejected. Because like if hindi mo na convince ang immigration na uwi ka na Pilipinas pagkatapos mo mag-study dito, then there's really a possibility na ma-decline siya. And it comes to GTE, I have a tips for you guys because nung sinulat ko yung GTE ko, may part doon na sinabi ko na one of the reasons bakit gusto ko mag-aral dito sa Australia is because I am allowed to work. I can work like 40 hours per fortnight. Tapos sabi ng agent ko na I need to crush out that one because if you're applying for the student visa, your focus is to study, not to work. So yes, it does make sense to me. So crush out ko siya. So if you're gonna guys write your GTE, maybe just don't put about the work thing because they will think you're a dodgy applicant maybe. Yeah, because ang gusto kasi ng government mag-focus ang mga students sa pag-aaral nila. That's why maybe that's the reason why they have student visa holders has work limitations. They're only allowed to work 40 hours per fortnight because gusto nila mag-focus ang mga students sa pag-aaral kasi yun naman na yung purpose na napumunta sila dito. So yeah, it does make sense yung working hours limitation. So after you've got your COE, your basic documents ready, health insurance, show money, and writing up your GTE, then you can now lodge your student visa. If you have your agent, the agent will do it for you. But if you're gonna do it on your own, you have to have your email account in which doon mo i-upload yung mga scan documents mo, everything. Doon mo ipapasa lahat. And then, that's it. After you've lodged your student visa, the immigration will ask you to do a medical exam and they will give you a referral kung saan yung accredited examination center. And the medical exams are like chest x-ray, blood test, urine test, eye test, and they will get your weight, like that, your height and something. Yep. And the medical exam cost me 7,050 pesos. Yep. And then the thing is, guys, you will not know the result of your medical exam because they will submit the result straight to the Australian immigration. So you just have to wait. Like hindi mo alam kung may sakit ka ba or what kasi isasubmit nila yun straight to the immigration. And maybe if you failed on the exam, I'm not sure what's gonna happen because wala pa akong kilala na nag-fail sa exam. Yeah. So I lodged my student visa on December 5 and then I did my medical exam December 12. Hindi agad ako nakapag-take ng medical exam kasi I was on my period at that time and I'm not allowed to take medical exams. So yeah, and then my visa was approved December 24, which is just in time for Christmas. Yeah, it just took like a week and something for my visa to be approved. So yes, thank you so much guys for watching. I hope may naitulong ako sa inyo, lalo na sa mga nagbabalak na pumunta dito at mag-aral. And if you have more questions and clarifications, just comment down below and I'll answer them the best as I could. If I get heaps of questions, maybe I'll make a separate video to answer the questions. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you can help me grow, and click like and subscribe. Thank you.